Hey guys, welcome to our second podcast for Priori.com. That's EHPRIORI.com. You can visit our website by clicking on the link here. Okay, so for today we're going to talk about what is UADC. Actually, what is UADC, Ruben?
So we're actually here at the United Asian Debating Championship. Both of us are judging. We're in Cambodia. We're actually recording this from the comfort of our hotel room. We just had breakfast. We planned the video. What to talk about. Anyway, the Asian Championships is essentially the Asian Championships for universities in the Asian parliamentary format. So very simply, for those who don't know, it's a 3-on-3 format tournament where you have two teams of three doing 7 minutes substantive speeches, 4 minutes reply. There are other quirks like there are 3 motions. You can choose what motion, or you can agree on a motion with your opponent. So yeah, that's essentially the short version of what the Asian parliamentary format is. And we are the biggest, one of the biggest regional tournaments in Asia, and it's a major competition right here.
Okay, so UADC stands for United Asian Debating Championships. So Ruben, why United? Were we disunited?
So there were 2 reasons, right?
Harmonious?
Like first off, debaters are just terrible at coming out with names. And secondly, there was actually just a fun fact for those who don't know, there's actually a split in the Asian community. So at one point in time, there were people that were unhappy with other people about how the tournament was being run. Then there were actually 2 Asian championships being run simultaneously. Every year there would be 2 Asian champions. There would be different universities going to different tournaments. Some universities would go to both
and send different teams to both tournaments.
So
anyway, there's a huge backstory, but that's not what this video is about. If you're the sort of person who just loves this sort of controversy and people bitching about each other, you can go find out Debate Asia. I think it was a Google group or Yahoo group. It's quite ancient, but you can find old threads of people screaming at each other, accusing each other all sorts of juicy things.
That's not important. The important thing now is that we are united, right?
Yes, now we are united. United Asians.
Yes, so that's a wonderful thing. Anyway, this video is in the spirit of UADC, is about how to survive a major tournament, because I think major tournaments are or rather big regional tournaments are very different from your local 40, 50 team IB. So Alfred, how is it different really? What's the experience like?
It's odd that you ask me. I think I'm the perfect person to ask about this. You know why?
Why?
Because I was the chief adjudicator of last year's UADC.
Okay, Alfred.
Lest people forget. So it's important to remind people, because otherwise people will start asking me, Alfred, are you a high school kid? Are you here to debate or adjudicate? Okay, anyway. So there are a few things that you need to take note of. So it's just much larger. So the scale of the tournament is massive. There are a lot more participants. This means they're going to meet debaters from all across Asia, probably 8 to 10 different countries.
It
also means that therefore there needs to be more preliminary rounds.
Yes.
Right, to make sure that the teams that survive after a large number of preliminary rounds get into the break rounds. There's some sort of quality control.
Do you know how many teams there are this year?
I'm actually not sure. I know last year.
Okay, our cameraman Subra from SMU behind says it's about 72 teams.
Oh, that's quite small actually.
Yeah, that's actually small for Asian Championship. It's often much larger. He's signaling something that I don't understand. It's fine, right? There's a break.
16 break. 16 teams break.
16 teams break. So out of 72 teams, often the proportion is, or the ratio is a lot larger.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the cameraman might be wrong, because I remember that last year we passed the break extension. It was a big issue.
Well, he just came back from council and we didn't. So
okay.
Maybe he knows things.
Why do you give that away, Ruben? Now people are gonna think we're lazy.
That's not true. We're working
on this so that you guys would benefit, important. Right?
Anyway, how to survive a major tournament? I think so we'll talk about 3 broad areas, what do you do before you actually start. We won't go into preparation specifically, but the actual tournament experience. So first, before we actually go for the rounds. Secondly, how do you deal with that long tournament process, the many preliminary rounds. And finally, things like feedback and how you should deal with it in order to improve as the tournament progresses. So first off, let's talk about what you should do when you're going for the tournament, or just before leaving the hotel room. What are the things you should think about?
Definitely the person I want to feature, I want to talk about in this podcast is my ex-teammate for UADC actually, our ex-teammate for this competition called the Borneo Debate Championships. You can find our video of the finals online where we failed horribly. So yeah, if you want to know who Kao is, go and find out. It's gem of a guy. Anyway, so Kao, who is my lovely teammate, will always bring this like haversack and utility belts. Almost like, for those of you who've gone through like Singapore NS, it's like the, what's the damn thing called? Cameraman. The LBV. The lightweight battle vest, you know, where you have like things.
I think LBV stands for load bearing vest. Right?
Okay, sorry.
Integrated. Anyway.
Right, so Kahao would have like all sorts of supplies on him. Like if you wanted any stationery, he would have it. He would have like multiple sets of pens. He would have like multiple sets of different types of medication, like aspirin and Panadol in case you have headache. He would have, actually it was just army knife, I don't really know why. But anyway, he also bring along with him. He also bring along with him like a good number of different types of snacks, like isotonic drinks, bread, right? So all these things, because why? And a huge 1.5 liter bottle of water.
Yeah.
So why all these things are important is to recognize that very often these universities are in god-forsaken places in the middle of nowhere.
Sometimes,
yeah, and like very often it happens during the summer holidays where shops are closed, right? So there isn't a convenience store for you to stock up on supplies, and you don't know whether or not you will be regularly like given food by the tournament.
Hopefully you will.
Yeah, hopefully you will, but like maybe you're the type that like needs to eat every hour, otherwise you get a bit itchy and restless.
The point of all of this is actually just creating an environment around you that you are comfortable in. So for different people, that means bringing different things, right? So for me personally, I just need maybe water, a couple of snacks, and I'm fine. Some people go to the extent of bringing neck pillows to like take a nap between rounds.
Sleeping bag.
Some go to the extent of sleeping bags. But basically, anything you may possibly need during the day, get it beforehand and bring it to the tournament. And that just makes your life a lot more easier because you don't have to worry about like if you ever need anything and you have to run around finding it in between rounds, and that just adds a lot of stress and pressure on you. Most important thing is like water, basically. Yeah. You can even go to the extent of having energy drinks. Like there was one point in time where I used to drink 2 to 3 cans of like Red Bull every single day of a tournament, and
that's not really being a very good role model, Ruben.
Yeah, don't do that. I've stopped doing that because I realized it's actually pretty dangerous. But
drink whiskey.
no. So basically, get things that you would need and would make you comfortable. The next thing is during the rounds, there are actually things you need to look out for, right? And for me, one of the most important pieces of advice is to learn how to pace myself during the rounds, especially if you're debating many rounds over the course of a tournament or even going deep into a tournament. What do I mean by this? So you need to be zen, like have this state of zen in between rounds. The reason for
really abstract.
Yeah, Ashok was the one who told me about this.
Google.
No, but it's really useful because debating is so intense, it's so mentally taxing that by the end of a day when you've done 3, maybe even 4 rounds, you're dead, right? You're just there's no ability to like have a nice dinner and like have a conversation afterwards and relax. What you should do is find periods in between the rounds to chill. So during the round itself, it's like intense, right? You switch on, you make sure you're thinking rapidly, you're preparing the case, it's very high energy. The moment the round ends, stop that, switch off completely. Turn off your brain. Stop thinking about the round that happened. Stop thinking about what you have done to save or to improve your results. Some debaters have this habit of talking about the round with other debaters, and they will talk about, oh, this team said this, and then they replay the debate over and over again. You can have conversations, obviously, but I think it's best if you just have very light-hearted conversations. Some people prefer not to talk at all. Some people take a nap. Some people listen to music. But the idea is, in between rounds, just switch off completely and be completely relaxed. Like, don't you think that's useful?
So I think what you need to realize is that whereas for a small local tournament, you're doing you're doing 3 rounds a day as well, but the tournament ends within 2 or 3 days, right? Yeah. For any major tournament, you're doing 8, 9 rounds of prelim rounds. If you go deep in the tournament, it's another 3, 4 or 5 rounds. So you could easily do 13 rounds within the course of 5 days. And if you've ever been through, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably have regular debate trainings. Your regular debate trainings last 3 or 4 hours, and they're probably pretty intense themselves. Right? Can you imagine sitting through like three times 3 hour debate long sessions every single day, and how that would seriously tire you out? And the thing is, that's the thing, right? Like, training and tournaments are, debating in a training and debating in a tournament is different, right? In training, your coach has to come after you and give you loads of feedback, and you really need to spend a lot of that time discussing and wondering over what you could have done better, what you didn't do better, right? Because then after that, you can go home and then you can sleep. That's not the case at a major tournament, right? It hits you round after round. So the only time in which you can get rest is the time in between rounds. And especially because when you have large scale tournaments, very often you have time delays, the tab takes a bit longer to process, right? There could be a 1-2 hour delay in between each round. Your rounds may end at 8 or 9 p.m., right? And if you're constantly engaging other people in very intense conversations in those 2 or 3 hours, you're literally putting your body and your throat and your voice through like 12-15 hours of work a day, and it's just not sustainable.
And you're burning a lot of mental bandwidth. To use like a sports analogy, if you ever watch, like, for example, a basketball game, and when they're timeouts, right, you will notice they're used for players to get a breath, right? Because like that whole 48 minutes that you play in a basketball game, it's extremely draining. And you often have to sub out, and you will notice whenever there's slowdowns in the game, right, players will use the opportunity to take a breather. So you should too as a debater. The next thing that we want to talk about is what happens if you lose though? Doesn't that throw you off? And I think the most important thing about this is don't ruminate over losses.
I think that's very important, because I think the pressure of a major tournament gets to people, right? You have only maybe debate 3 or 4 majors. For many debaters, they debate at 1 major every year. So that's like the nationals or like the world championships or the Asian tournament. And after you lose a single round, it can feel very depressing. You can feel like, you know, it's all over. Oh my god, I've screwed this up. What have I done to myself? And that's what we call like ruminating over your losses, right? So there are a few reasons why you shouldn't ruminate over losses. So we'll take that, right?
Okay.
So first of all, the reason it's actually kind of pointless. It's not constructive. It doesn't get you anywhere. Look, the truth is, like, I think the biggest mistake that a lot of debaters make is that they lose the very first round, and that affects them for the rest of the tournament. They're just like terribly upset about it. They become deflated. They don't have the self-esteem or confidence to continue that aggression because they feel like, you know, they've really screwed it up. But the truth is that in a 9-round tournament, if you lose the first round, it's
wonderful.
Wonderful. It's not wonderful, but like, it's not the end of the world, right? It means that you face easier opponents for the next 8 rounds, and they can more than compensate for the fact that you're now at a 1-loss record.
Exactly. So the next thing that you want to talk about, or rather, the next reason why losses or ruminating over the losses is a terrible idea is because it just throws you, your teammates, your entire ability to perform, like, it just throws it out of the window, right? Because you feel upset. That means that you are less likely to be able to concentrate or, again, switch on and completely focus on the next round or the next few rounds. Your teammates, or having arguments with your teammates, having disagreements, or the fact that you appear upset and clearly not focused would throw them off too. Because your own behavior and your demeanor also affects the people around you and how you're able to communicate effectively during prep, during debate. And it will put a lot of unnecessary pressure, particularly if you have lost 1 or 2 rounds and you're fretting out over whether you will break or not. And that just you should not allow that to affect your performance, because all you have to do is just chill, focus on doing your best, and then wins will naturally come. And if you're decent enough, you would most definitely break. It doesn't matter whether you've dropped 1 or 2 rounds along the way.
It's important to realize that whether or not you break depends on what you do in the round, and it's not as if you can like magically plot some strategy in your head, like solve some crazy math equation and somehow that can get you a break. I think the third thing that we want to mention is, do not go around complaining to the entire world about what your opponents did, about what your judge did, about like how horrible it was that you lost the round. And I mean, like, I think we are all guilty of that. We've done it. We've definitely done it, right? So it's not like, we're not pretending that we're not capable of it. But there's a time and space for these things, right? So if you're unhappy with the behavior of your opponents, you can probably approach the equity committee or the EdgeCorp.
Yeah.
If you're unhappy with the decision, there is a feedback channel for you to lodge and register complaints. In many tournaments, very often if you give the judge a 1, that would mean that you're soft conflicted from them for the rest of the tournament, right? And that includes in the UADC. But the most important reason why you don't want to go around complaining to everybody, other than the fact that it's going to take up a lot of time and energy, it's just it's really bad for your rep. You don't want to be seen as that sore loser. You don't want to be that team, that can never take a loss, is always complaining about everyone and everything, that nobody takes seriously anymore. Because think about it, like if I'm an EdgeCorp member, alright, and this team comes over to complain about judge, and they complain about judge every time they lose. Every time they lose, they give a judge a 1. Right? And then like, how do you expect me to take your complaint seriously? Like, I'm going to be very angry because a lot of the good judges that come to judge you are getting bad feedback from you, and therefore now they may not be able to break, right? And that's going to really mess things up for the tournament.
But how then should you deal with feedback from educators? Like, isn't that important to improving round by round? Like, some debaters go to the extent of badgering the adjudicators. I think what's important is you don't need you should approach feedback from adjudicators in a very specific way, right? You shouldn't focus on, for example, what should you have run in the previous round. While that is useful, often during a major tournament where there are significant time constraints, the adjudicator just doesn't have the time to go into detail about a specific case that he or she thinks that you should have run.
Yeah, you've as a debater, you have prepared on that motion for half an hour. You have actually done a debate about it where you're engaged for 1 hour. The adjudicator is just trying to figure out who wins and who loses, right? So like, you can't reasonably expect the adjudicator to be immediately able to give you a much better case or much better substantive than what has already been talked about. What the adjudicator can give you that's very, very valuable as feedback, however, is to take note of what mistakes you're making and give you little pieces of advice on what you can apply in your next round. So what I always do when I go for any major tournament with a lot of rounds is that I will always make it a point to go up to the adjudicator and ask him or her, maybe I have some questions or doubts, I'll clear that out first, right? But they are minor short questions. The next thing I'll ask is, what's the 1 or 2 mistakes I'm making, or what's the 1 or 2 pieces of advice you can give me that I can try and apply immediately in the next round? Because that's how you make sure that you don't fall into those bad habits and committing silly small little mistakes like not giving enough POIs or speaking too quickly or having bad structure, which can be easily fixed. Like, so what I do is that I write down those pieces of advice on a little piece of paper, and before the next round, I look at a piece of paper to remind myself of what I'm supposed to do. And that's something I ask my students to do as well.
That being said, there is a time and place to think about the specific case you read. And I think you can do that at the end of the day, right? So don't obsess over it during the tournament, while the tournament is running. But at the end of the day, right, like after you had dinner, you can have a discussion with your teammates, right? Like
low energy discussion.
Yeah, low energy discussion about what should happen in like round 4, round 5, whichever specific round that you want to think about. And that sort of discussion could possibly help you in later rounds because it may do things like improve your prep, improve your thought processes and the like. Also, after the tournament, like constructing all the cases or reconstructing all the cases and improving upon them will be useful because the motions often are repeated in other tournaments. But don't bother doing that while the tournament is going on. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, there's a time for AR, or what you call after action review. It helps if you take video recordings or audio recording. Remember, ask the other speakers in the room for permission before you take any recording. But you can review those things later on your own or with your seniors, with your coaches, and look through what you did wrong and figure out what case you should have run. Those are things that you should do like at the end of the day or preferably like at the end of the tournament and not like while you're in the heat of a competition, because really what you should be doing then is to mentally prepare yourself for the next emotionally draining and challenging round.
That being said, if you're at home, you want to follow what's going on at the UADC, what you can do is there are often live streams on the Cambodia UADC Facebook page, so follow there. But there will be live streams of rounds hosted by MIDP, Malaysian Institute of Debating and Public Speaking, and they'll be live streaming a lot of the rounds on the Malaysian Debaters YouTube channel. So if you haven't watched those videos, please go to the link, go and search up Malaysian Debater. We'll probably link down below and watch the rounds if you want to learn from them.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about technology, right? You no longer have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to fly overseas to go there to watch the round. The round can be easily found online at the click of your fingertips. By the way, on that topic, there is an article written by Ruben about internet resources you can find on apri.com, EHPRIO. Okay, whatever. Link below, right? Go and look for it. Ruben has very kindly collated all the different resources that are available that you can use for free.
Okay. Last thing, our giveaway, right? So we are giving away a 1 hour of coaching. Like you can have a Skype call, maybe if you're in Singapore, meet up with us in person, where you can talk about your debating and we can help you improve. Yeah, it's free, but you can buy us lunch if you want to be nice. Anyway, please comment down below on our YouTube video, this or the previous video, or on our website, on any of the articles with the hashtag July Coaching. The important thing though is actually leave a comment and don't just comment with the hashtag, because like tell us what you liked about it, what you didn't like about the content, what you hope to see in the future, whether you think this is a great initiative, whether you think we are blowing our trumpets too much. Like, actually have a comment that's useful.
Yeah, it's important to realize that just like you guys, even though we're old and we're a bit more experienced, we're also quite insecure. We need that community love and support to feel the motivation to keep doing this. And especially I noticed that there haven't been any comments on our articles on the website yet.
Yeah, so you should please leave a comment. Right? Tell us what you think.
And if you guys want anything, if you guys have anything that you want us to talk more about, it's about to give us that feedback to tell us what you guys like, what you guys don't like, so we can try as much as possible to incorporate those feedbacks into our work. And one more thing, I think maybe also try to ask okay, this is sort of another mini giveaway, but not really. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post those questions in that comment as well. If they are particularly good questions that we think are relevant to a large number of viewers, and we may feature those questions and answer them in our podcast. Right? Obviously, if we feel it's not relevant to everyone, we can still perhaps type you a private message and respond. I think our responsiveness thus far has been quite good, right? Because there haven't been enough comments.
Okay, so that's all for this video. Look out for more UADC themed videos coming up over the next few days.
Actually, we are doing one tonight.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully. What are we doing?
Because it's hopefully, so
okay, sure. It's a surprise.
Yes.
Surprise. We might be doing something tonight.
Okay, that's all. Bye.